Hi, this is Trier from the Nightingale Writing Center, and I am going to talk a little bit about the written portion of the college entrance exam used by Nightingale. It is not actually writing an essay, it's actually looking more at parts of speech, different aspects of punctuation, sentence structure, things like that. So, just going to give you some tips and tricks on how to approach tests like that. And I am using Mometrics to model that for you. So, this is not the practice test. I'm actually using the ACT, but it is out of Mometrics. So, since I know I'm taking the English test, anytime you take an English, a reading, any type of test, you're always going to want to read the question first. So this question, consider the following excerpt from the passage. Sentence number 1. Throughout human history, mankind sought to track the days and seasons. Select the best version of the underlined portion. I don't need to go read this story, this text, this passage. There's nothing up there that's going to help me. So what I can do is I simply take each of these options and substitute them in. So throughout human history, mankind seeks to track the days and seasons. Throughout human history, mankind has sought to track the days and seasons. Throughout human history, mankind is seeking to track the days and seasons. So mankind sought doesn't make sense, so I'm going to go with has sought. Okay, moving on to number 2. Again, sentence 2, tracing back millennia, archaeologists have discovered calendars showing the ancient views of the Earth's movement in time's passage. Again, I don't need to go read the passage. It is not asking me for that. It's asking for how should this sentence be written. So, tracing back millennia, calendars were discovered showing the ancient views, or calendars tracing back millennia have been discovered by archaeologists showing the ancient views of the Earth's movements in time's passages, or archaeologists have discovered calendars tracing back millennia showing the ancient views of the Earth's movement and time's passage. So this is one of those questions where there's really kind of more than one answer, and you have to go with the one that you feel like is the best. You could sit here and stare at this for a million hours, and the answer is not going to fall from the sky and bonk you on the head. So what you need to do is to go with your gut. So to me, that one made the most sense, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, going on to number 3. Researchers have categorized Again, I don't need to go and read the passage. So think, how many times when you take a reading test or a writing test and it asks you a question, have you already spent a ton of time reading the text? You're super tired, you're super bored, you don't want to be, working on the test anymore because you spent all your time reading something that maybe wasn't very interesting to you. And doing that kind of puts your brain to sleep, and that's the last thing that we want. So it's good to have a snack and or something to drink with you, because that's just going to help give you something to keep yourself awake. You also should have paper and pencil near you for you to be able to take notes or to draw pictures on. Now, if you're taking a proctored exam, I know that that's not possible, that the proctors a lot of the times won't let you have any materials, which kind of stinks, but I understand why they do that. So if you can write, draw on the actual test, I would do that to help you stay focused. But biggest mistake on the writing portion of the exam is that the learner, y'all feel like you need to read everything, learn all of this stuff and then come take your look at your questions, and you don't need to. So the biggest hint I can give you for taking the writing portion is to read your questions first. So the tips for the reading, tips for the writing are pretty much all the same, because that's the key component to anything for this. So phases of the moon are the basis for this. Research after calendar. We'll just say that. And then now, which of the following best introduces paragraph D? Okay, so now we need to go and we need to look at paragraph D. So although Scotland is home to the oldest calendar, most current ones are termed solar calendars. So you would read the beginning of D, the end of C, and then you would see which of these would fit best in between them. The earliest known calendar was discovered in Scotland, 12 pits with a corresponding arc. Researchers have categorized it as a lunar calendar. The phases of the moon are the basis for this. And then because the earth travels around the sun, although Scotland is home, no, that doesn't make sense. While many of the oldest calendars were lunar, although Scotland is home, that's a good transition, but not with how this one is starting. So despite the many phases of the moon used for many calendars, I would leave it alone, because you would have to do more rewriting, and it didn't ask us to do that. Okay, and then here again, we don't need to go back and to read the passage. So those are some of the tips and tricks for taking the writing portion of the exam.